It's showdown season, and we're doing Brentford against Nottingham Forest. Here we go. Showdown season, winter hat season. It's all kinds of seasons going on over here. I'm talking Brentford, Nottingham Forest, and I'm just going to be going off our cheat sheet because the slate is still not up at DraftKings. So similar to the end of 2023, they are taking days. They're just taking forever to release some slates. Currently have a interleague slate up and a Liga MX slate, and we do have the cheat sheets, but we don't have anything else available to us for the weekend. So shouts to DraftKings for taking 2024 really seriously in terms of DFS. So shouts to them for doing that. But we got Brentford home against Nottingham Forest. I'm using our cheat sheets, rotowire.com/soccer trial. That is a 48-hour trial. And this cheat sheet has everything you need pretty much. So that's why I'm going off it to build DFS lineups. I'm going to be talking about the odds. I'll be talking about the lineups as well. So we got Brentford, 52% chance to win at home. Nottingham Forest, 21% chance. As you can see here, pretty an okay implied goal total. 1.74 for Brentford, 1.13 for Nottingham Forest. That is almost 34% clean sheet odds for our guy, Mark Flecken. So let's look at the lineup here. Brentford have had a ton of injuries, but the news here is that Ivan Toney is back from his 8-month ban. So Toney has been out all season. He's been training. He's been with the team for months now. He's been training for a long time. So we'll see in terms of his fitness at a Premier League level, but he's played in, I believe, 2 recent behind closed door scrimmages where he went 90 minutes in each of those. So I'm not sure I'd even worry about minutes with him just because, he's been fit, he's been training, he got minutes in scrimmages against real people. It wasn't against robots, it was against real people he was playing against. Got a couple goals, I believe, as well. So he's in there. Sergio Reguilon, I have him starting at left back. That's not guaranteed, but I really think he starts just because Brentford don't really have anyone else. We know Hickey's out. We know Rico Henry is out. Top two fullbacks on Brentford, and then Simon Godos, who has been playing as a fullback lately for the last few months, I guess. He's at AFCON, so he's not going to be available. So I believe right away Reguilon is going to come in the starting 11. He was already compared by Thomas Frank. He was compared to a guy like Rico Henry. So I think he's just going to go into that role. We'll see if it's a 4-3-3. It could be the 3-5-2. How Thomas Frank likes to change things up. But this is home against Nottingham Forest. So I'm thinking a 4-3-3 here. We'll see if Maupay and Toney are starting with Lewis Potter. We'll see what that front line looks like. But otherwise, the absences of Nyeko and Wissa are out. Norgard is still hurt. Mbomos still hurt as well. So a lot of absences, but they're kind of getting back a little bit. Jensen is back from his injury. I guess he only missed probably a week there. So you throw Toney into the lineup. You throw this guy who can score off of maybe one of the best in the league in terms of set pieces, kind of a thing. Just really changes things up. Johan Visa and Mbomo, those guys aren't the same kind of players as Ivan Toney. So you can't really compare, even Maupay, you just can't compare these guys to Ivan Toney. He's just a lethal goal scorer, and he's getting looked at by plenty of bigger clubs as well. Otherwise, Ben Mee is back from his suspension, I think from the last time we saw him in league play, but he had 3-game suspension. Nottingham Forest, the big news here is Morgan Gibbs-White is out. Well, we've had things in the past where Steve Cooper has said that Morgan Gibbs-White was going to be out with an injury, and then he ended up starting. I don't believe Nuno is the same kind of manager like that, so we're just going to take him for his word. But we got Elanga is out, Morgan Gibbs-White is out, and then as we're looking at this list, a lot of other guys are out, whether it's AFCON, whether it's injuries. They don't really have a healthy center back outside of Murillo. So Omo Bamidele started and scored midweek in the FA Cup. Is he going to start again? He's a former Norwich City defender who struggled to get minutes with Norwich City when they were in the Premier League. It's either going to be him or Joe Worrell. Joe Worrell, who was basically banned from training 2 months ago, also started in the first leg of that FA Cup matchup. So it's either going to be next to Murillo, it's going to be Bami Dele, who probably isn't a Premier League level defender, and then it's going to be Joe Worrell or Joe Worrell, who was banned from training a couple months ago. So we'll see how that looks. And then Toffolo, Montiel, figure to start at fullback. Those guys, neither one of them started midweek. Figure those guys will be in there. I actually did pull up the set piece numbers from that prior Nottingham Forest game, but I believe I'll look at those right now. But I believe Dominguez was the guy that actually took the majority of them. So they played 120 minutes. Dominguez finished with 6 shots, 4 chances created, and he took 4 corners. Nottingham Forest took 11 corners in that game. Let's see what Hudson-Odoi did. Hudson-Odoi did not take a corner, which I originally thought was going to be the case. So Hudson-Odoi did not take a corner. Nuno Tavares actually started. He took 3 corners. So there's 3. Nico Williams went 75 minutes. He took 1 corner. I'm just going through the list here. Yates not take any. Chris Wood did not take any. Toffolo off the bench took 3. Okay, so we're probably going to get, let's see what the cheat sheet says about set pieces without Morgan Gibbs-White, because this is going to be kind of deciding how we build our lineups here. So Toffolo is second up, and then Dominguez not even on there, but he hasn't been playing a ton. There's not a ton of times when Nicholas Dominguez has started without Morgan Gibbs-White, but we kind of just saw what happened there. I did not see extra time in late in that game. If Toffolo was taking all the set pieces, if he was taking set pieces over Dominguez. So I would say just, looking at the numbers here, I don't know if it's a guarantee that Nicholas Dominguez is going to be on set pieces, maybe free kicks. But if Toffolo starts, it seems like it's going to be probably a split with Dominguez and Toffolo set pieces. And then we'll see who else starts. I don't think Montiel is going to be there to take any. It doesn't seem like Hudson-Odoi is going to be taking any. I mean, they just had a bunch. He played 86 minutes against Blackpool. He did not take a corner in that game, so I don't know why he'd be taking them in this game unless their set-piece takers were really terrible in that game against Blackpool. So those are the floor plays right there. So in cash games, Jensen, I guess let's look at prices here. So we get some nice savings with Ivan Toney because Neil Maupay is 9,600, Chris Wood is 9,200, Ivan Toney with the best odds to score in the slate is 8,400. So we get a nice little discount there for Toney. You got to think he's going to be popular in his return just because he's cheaper than he should be. He's got the best odds to score. Let me just click on his profile, and I don't know if for some reason you're unfamiliar with him, you don't know about his goal scoring. He got 20 goals last season. I don't know how many of those were PKs, but I guess I'll say, okay, he's on PKs. 20 goals, 4 assists last season. He had a lot of just really solid games. Look at this run he had where it's like goal pretty much every other game. And that kind of aligns with a bunch of these home games. So just a lot. I mean, 20 goals for a forward from Brentford is just a massive amount when you consider, okay, Salah is always around that 20 goal mark. Son is kind of near that 20 goal mark pretty often as well. Or I guess that's actually not Son, but Harry Kane used to be there, though he did surpass 30 last season. So that's what we're looking at here. So this is the home team, Brentford. I am favoring Brentford in the spot just because, okay, they get Toney. They have a real fullback now that Reguilón's there. So I'm favoring Brentford a little bit, but you can look at Nottingham Forest and how they've been playing under Nuno. There's been a lot of goals in those games. So I kind of lean if you want to go goalkeeper, but you look at Nottingham Forest games, it seems like I haven't watched a lot of these, but it seems like when they go on the counter, they send a lot of players on the counter, and Chris Wood is kind of benefiting a lot when they kind of go full out. You can look at a lot of the recent matchups. There's goals. Both teams are scoring. There's no clean sheets. Even these Blackpool games. I think the first leg against Blackpool, they only gave up 3 shots, but they let in 2 goals, kind of a thing. So I think I think we're going to get goals in this one. I mean, I always say you can't trust Mark Flecken. If you want to captain Mark Flecken, go for it. If you want to captain Matt Turner, go for it. Probably not the slate I'm going to be doing it for, but usually when I say that, that means it is the slate. So, people will be thinking goals. So in tournaments, if you want to go with one of these goalkeepers and captain, and maybe you just go, okay, let's do Flecken. Let's get a win clean sheet with 4 saves, then get the Toney PK, and then filter in everything else. And, maybe it probably won't be that popular. I don't think Mark Flecken's going to be overly popular. Probably talking, I don't know, less than 5% captain, something like that. It's always hard to tell what the lobby is going to do in some of these games, especially for teams that, people just aren't really familiar with. So in cash games, you got to probably lean to Matthias Jensen. Again, I'm not building my lineup out because the slate is not out at DraftKings yet. So I'm just going off the cheat sheet here. So I'm not even sure. I'm going to be saying a bunch of names. I'm not even sure they're going to be able to fit in a lineup here, but let's assume that they're going to fit. So you're probably captain. Let me sort this again by price. So here are the set pieces. Matthias Jensen, I believe he's going to be pretty much ready for 90. Let me just double check how much he played on Tuesday. So Nottingham Forest played on Wednesday. Brentford played on Tuesday. Both teams went 120 minutes in those games. So I think pretty interesting. I look at lineups. I don't think we're going to get rotation, but Jensen went 90 minutes in that game. Okay. As you know, it went 120. Malpe went 120. Okay. So there's that. So we're probably going to get Jensen without Godos, without Mbomo. Probably going to get Jensen full on all set pieces. Let's look at this last game. They had 4 corners. Jensen opted did not have actually stats for this game, so I can't check corners. I'm going to assume Jensen took the majority of them. Damsgaard only went 62 minutes. I wouldn't worry too much about Damsgaard, though he is in play to steal a set piece or two. So I'd probably say, just looking at it, so we're going to captain Jensen for the set pieces. And on the other side, plug in Toffolo, who's only 5K, pretty cheap for possible split of set pieces here because we don't have Morgan Gibbs-White. Nicholas Dominguez, again, 6,200, pretty cheap here if he's going to play in a more attacking role here. So then you can kind of do whatever else you want to do. I would be worried a little bit about Montiel. Let me click into his game log here. 70 minutes, 74 minutes. Like Nico Williams will be coming off the bench for him. So Nico Williams will probably be playing. As you can see here, you got the 8.9 points against Manchester United, but that also included an assist, 2 crosses in his 2 starts here. I'm not sure Montiel will be on the list for me just because of, 60 to 70 minutes seem like they are in play for him. Christopher Aguirre is the other. Where's Reguilon at? Let's find Reguilon. Is he even going to be on here? Oh no. Okay. Well, we don't have Reguilon pricing. Hopefully DraftKings are going to have him on the slate. If Reguilon is not on here, we're going to have a problem. Okay. I think might be a cheat sheet issue. Not entirely sure what the issue is. Okay. From what I'm seeing here, Sergio Reguilon is 8K. That seems like a lot. Was he tearing it up at Tottenham? I don't know. I'm missing something. Was he tearing it up at Manchester United? Okay. I guess Reguilon is 8K. Yeah. I'm gonna have to look into something. Maybe we don't have his goal odds or something hooked up to him. So I'll look into that later. So Reguilon is 8K. That may make things a little difficult here. An extreme price there for someone. Okay. Aguirre is 3,400. I think he would be in play. Though I'm not sure Aguirre is much better than Ben Mee or Ethan Pinnock because those guys are always in play to get their head on a cross or something like that. Lewis Potter has been playing well. I do like him. I think his floor has also been pretty decent. Maybe the addition of Toney also in there kind of removes some attention he's getting. So I kind of like him a little bit. Damsgaard always in play for 60 minutes. Janelle just won 120 minutes. We'll see what his minutes look like. So you can go a few ways. Murillo is one of these guys, one of these center backs. Kind of compare him to a little bit of Joakim Anderson, though, as you can see here. I guess his floor isn't that great, but he is a guy who will, cross the ball, send the ball forward from, the defensive third kind of thing. He's been really good in his first season in the Premier League. Hudson-Odoi, maybe a minute's concern, but he would be a possibility for a decent floor. Ryan Yates is another guy, I believe, who went 120 minutes on Wednesday. So we'll see if he starts, what his minutes look like. So a worry there. But without Gibbs White, without Ilanga, Origi also doubt. Not a huge bench for Nottingham Forest, not a huge bench for Brentford either. So even though some of these guys played 120, maybe it doesn't matter in the end because there is another break here for them. So maybe, the minutes concern isn't really a massive worry. Danilo, just a guy who's always getting a goal, getting his nose in front of goal kind of thing. Cash games, where were we? I don't know where we were. So Jensen, if you captain Jensen, Reguilón at 8K. We're making things a little difficult here, but I think just that you're getting reduced prices for Nottingham Forest set piece takers and Dominguez and Toffolo. And even Yates is a guy who will have a decent floor, especially in an attacking role. He played more attacking in the midweek because of that Morgan Gibbs White injury. So that's something I keep an eye on. Look at these prior numbers. They were all as a defensive midfielder. Let me see if I can grab his numbers in that game. So yeah, he had 2 assists on Wednesday. He took 4 shots, XG of 0.21, XA expected assist of 0.67. So, just better numbers overall because he played in a more attacking role. So if you need to save money, again, I don't know where our money situation will be on this slate because I can't put everything together. But if you need to save a little more money, like Ryan Yates' floor, I think is going to be fine here. So I think it's a slate where for cash games, I think you can pretty much fit all of the needed players, all of the expected set piece takers, and you could maybe even fit Toney in there. He's in that Reguilón price range. So that's what we're looking at right now for cash games. I mentioned the possible Mark Flecken captaincy. You can go there as well. What am I going to do? Is it time to captain Toney? I don't know. Toney's going to be really popular, isn't he? First game back, people want to play him. They will play him. Or maybe you just go to Maupay and be like, I don't want to play Toney. He's rusty kind of thing. I don't know. It's really hard to fade a cheaper Ivan Toney in this game. So he is going to be popular, but maybe that's why someone like Neil Maupay, who will be less popular. Lewis Potter also in that price range at 8,200 will be less popular as well. Again, because Ivan Toney is on PKs and he's Ivan Toney. He's a better goal scorer than those guys. So you could look at it like, okay, let me just try and get a goal or assist from one of these less popular guys kind of thing. Either way, I think most of your lineups, you're going to want Dominguez. You're going to want both Dominguez and Toffolo in your lineup. If not both, then at least one of them. If you want to play for goals, I think you need Chris Wood because, you look at Chris Wood, scored again against Blackpool. Let me see what he's been doing in cup play because he got the hat trick against Newcastle, again, former club. Goal assist against Bournemouth. Didn't score against Manchester United. Didn't score in the first leg against Blackpool. Okay, so though given so many injuries, like Chris Wood isn't getting subbed out at the team. So it looks like this is pretty much a guaranteed 90 minutes for Chris Wood. So you're going to decide if you want to play him. If you're playing for goals, maybe try and get a center back goal. Maybe throw Pinnock there, Ben Mee there. I think our guy Hesh is going to be throwing Murillo in his lineup. Captain him probably for some. If you want to get different a little bit, I probably wouldn't go to Dominguez after what he did midweek. Granted, it's not going to be in his game log, so maybe people aren't going to play Dominguez as much as we think. But I think he was probably 50% maybe midweek. So maybe Dominguez isn't going to be as popular as you think. So maybe he is an option as a captain. Really, you could go any of these ways. Chris Wood, Ivan Toney, if you want to get those goals, hope for a brace from one of those guys, captain either one of them. But I think there are cheap enough players that you can get fairly different. You can easily get different. Like you can get, I talked about these center backs. This isn't. I don't think these guys are like some of these other teams. Like we know Ben Mee and Ethan Pinnock get forward. We know if there's going to be set pieces, those guys will be getting involved. And now you throw Ivan Toney in there. So Ivan Toney's probably going to draw more attention. Toney's probably going to draw the attention of the best in-air defender on the other side. So whoever that is for Nottingham Forest, Tony's going to be drawing that attention. So maybe that's going to be opening up more chances for shots, chances created for guys like Pinnock and me. So I think this is a slate where really you can play anyone. If you want to go for the clean sheet, go for the clean sheet. But I think center backs are in play. We can get, let me just look at the prices here before taking off one more time. And as I mentioned, Dominguez and Toffolo are cheap. Yates is cheap. So many guys here. Ben Mee is down here at 3,400. Jair Murillo's 3,200. So many options you can get. Like if you're getting, I don't know, an 8-point floor from Ryan Yates, okay, that's fine. If you're getting split set pieces from Toffolo for however many points, like, okay, you can do pretty much whatever you want to do on the slate. Guy like Janelle is not going to be popular. Just more of a defensive midfielder who's more expensive than a lot of these other guys. If you want to go for a goal from Janelle, go for it. Why not? Maybe Damsgaard goes 90 minutes for some reason this game. Go for it. Hudson-Odoi, 7,800. Haven't really mentioned him today. Lewis Potter, as I said. So you can go a lot of ways. But Neil Maupay as the most expensive player, he's not going to be very popular. He's the most expensive player here. And we get the return of Ivan Toney. Granted, again, you're going to want to see what the formation is. I have the 4-3-3 in here, but it could be a 3-5-2, which would mean only 2 forwards instead of the 3 forwards here. So something to keep an eye on with this Brentford lineup. But I think that's all I got here for this showdown. Hopefully it was helpful. Brentford home against Nottingham Forest. We haven't had a ton of shows, so that's kind of why I felt like doing a show here. We just don't have any classic slates. There's no classic slates to talk about. These showdowns, similar to today, the slates are coming out really late, so it's kind of difficult to get content out. I mean, I'm talking 3 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Slate is still not out on DraftKings, so I guess this is what we're looking at in 2024. So if you have complaints, send them over to DraftKings. Hopefully we can get these slates out earlier in the future. I can't wait till we get to game week 28 and the slate does not come out. The main slate doesn't come out till Saturday. That'll be really fun. That's probably not going to happen. Probably an extreme case, but it would be funny. Okay, it wouldn't be funny for us, but it would suck. Hopefully we get some slates out earlier in the future, but that's what we got here. Rotowire.com/soccer trial, 48-hour trial. Thank you for watching this on this Friday. Maybe we got 0-degree temps out. It's going to warm up a little bit, but maybe it won't be winter hat season the next time you see me. If you're into anything else, just hit up. Let me just click on it here. Let me just go to it on this. Just go to our YouTube. Look at this. I could click on this video and I'll be watching myself here, but go to our YouTube. Make sure to give a thumbs up to this video. We did a video and an article for Jack. He wrote up a goalkeeper strategy. If you want to know more about goalkeepers, we didn't talk too much about Showdown, but some in-depth analysis on goalkeepers. Check that one out. Jack Burkhart's article is up on the site, and then it also has a link to this video as well. We also got betting. Me and Chris Owen went over multiple games, 8 different bets in this. We talked up 3 different matches this weekend. So check that one out. And then if you don't know anything about our RotoWire content, scroll down on our YouTube channel, RotoWire content. Been doing videos of just a bunch of things that maybe people don't really know about. Last one I did was on our betting pages. One page that I don't think anyone really knows about. It's kind of hidden, our betting odds pages. But that's what we got here. Thank you for watching. You can find me at Zdroik or at RotoWire Soccer on Twitter. Have a good weekend. Good luck on the slate and all the other Showdown slates.